Well, I knew that one day I would review this game, and that day is today, as this month marks the 40th anniversary of ET, the Extra-Terrestrial, on the Atari 2600. After the success of the film earlier that year, Atari began negotiations with Universal and Steven Spielberg to produce a game based on the movie. Atari paid around $25 million for the rights. That's about 70 million in today's money. And in July of 1982, they called upon Howard Scott Warshaw to develop the game. After his success with the Atari version of Spielberg's Raiders of the Lost Ark and the hugely popular Yar's Revenge, Warshaw began work on ET. Now, the game had to be completed by September the 1st in order for the cartridges to be produced and in the stores ready for the holiday season. This meant Warshaw only had 5 weeks to develop the game.
Only from Atari. Made especially for systems from Atari. The video game that lets you help E.T. get home. Just in time for Christmas. Happy holidays from Atari.
Initially, the game was a commercial success, selling over 4 million units by the end of 1982. However, according to some sources, over 3 million copies were sent back to Atari as either unsold inventory or customer returns. This was a contributing factor in Atari's decline and the start of the video game crash of 1983. Due to this, around 700,000 cartridges of various Atari titles were buried in the New Mexico desert. 30 years later, some of these games were excavated, as seen in the documentary Atari Game Over. So, just how bad is it? Well, let's find out. So here we go, and here's E.T. landing on Earth. Now the object of the game is to find 3 interplanetary phone pieces in order to call the spaceship to come and collect you. And all the pieces are found in these wells, and you use your powers to detect which wells have the pieces, and getting out of these wells is a task in itself. So as soon as you levitate out and the scene changes, you push left or right and you don't fall back in. So there's the scientist. Now the worst that can happen if he touches you, he picks you up and he takes you to the lab. And once you get to the lab, you can just walk straight out. So there's the second phone piece. Now the other guy in the brown coat, that's the FBI agent. If he touches you, he takes away one of your phone pieces. And you have to go and find it all over again. So those little dots there are Reese's Pieces. And you can collect those for topping up your health. Or if you save 9 of them, and then call Elliot, he'll come and give you another phone piece. And just keep falling in these wells with the bad collision detection. Now, once you've got all 3 of the phone pieces, you have to look for the call ship zone, which is indicated at the top. There you go. So that little Space Invader at the top there. I have to press the fire button when I'm on that screen once I've found the 3rd phone piece. And once I've done that, a countdown appears, and you have to go back to the forest screen, and the ship will come and collect you. Now, the only thing is, if there's any humans, including Elliot, on that screen, then the ship won't land. So you have to make sure there's no humans on that screen, and you have to time it just right in order for the ship to land. And these wells are a pain. So that countdown at the bottom there, that's your health. Oh, there's the 3rd piece. So your health is at the bottom there, counting down, and it counts down whenever you move or fall into a well. And then levitate back out. But like I said, you can use those Reese's Pieces to top up your health. Now we just need to go to this area here to call the spaceship. Avoiding the scientist and the FBI agent. So there we go, the countdown's begun. So we just go back to the forest screen. And what you'll see me doing in a sec is I'm just basically running round away from the scientist. And if you look at the top there, there's like what looks like a jail. If you stand on that area and press fire button, it sends the FBI agent away. And I'll do the same with the scientist. And we quickly go to the landing zone, and there we go. There's a spaceship. That's the game complete. So you just have like a little animation there of Elliot walking around his house for some reason, and that's your lot. That's it. So that was E.T. on the Atari, and I know a lot of people say that the failure of the game was down to those pits that you constantly fall into, but as long as you get used to moving your joystick left or right as soon as you exit the pit, then you should be fine. The real pain for me was those FBI agents who were constantly after you, because if they touched you, you'd lose one of your phone pieces or one of your Reese's Pieces. Now, before I did this video, I had a quick go and I hadn't got a clue what I was doing, so I actually read the instructions. Now, the instructions are quite in-depth, and there's loads of information about the game, but Atari have also included this. Tips on getting E.T. home fast. Now, I'm not sure if it originally came with this separate sheet with extra tips on levitating out of wells and calling the spaceship, or whether this was included later on when they got a load of returns back to Atari. I'm not sure. But yeah, so is it a good game? No. Did I enjoy playing the game? Not really. Is it a game with a very interesting history and backstory? Yes. And that's why I'm happy to have this in my collection. Although this is the NTSC version, so when I play it on my Atari, the screen's all fuzzy. So I'm going to have to track down the European version. I'm not sure how difficult that'll be. But anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing, and have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, or however you celebrate this season. and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.